Welcome to Valentina's culinary voyage with me, Valentina. In this series, we are going to be recreating the dishes that I ate whilst on my Italian Sojourn Viking cruise earlier this year. And it's about recreating the dishes that really impressed me, that I really fell in love with. And this is one that I had not just once, but twice at the fantastic Manfredi's. This is a vitello tonnato, which is a starter. Now, vitello tonnato, when you describe it to people who haven't grown up with it, they always go, oh, really? Not quite sure about that. It's basically very thinly sliced poached veal, coated in a very rich tuna and mayonnaise sauce with capers, with olives, with all sorts of things. So let's go. The first thing that needs to happen is that the meat needs to be trimmed up and then needs to go into its marinade. So I've got a thinly sliced onion and then a carrot. The wine that I've chosen for my marinade is from one of my favorite grape varieties. This is Grillo from Sicily. Very underrated, really very, very special, native to the island of Sicily, needs to be known and grown much more than it is. I'm going to put a glass of it to one side to use later in the recipe, and the rest of it is going straight in there. Also going in there is some stock which I made earlier. This is some veal stock which I'm adding to this bowl, and then the herbs and the spices. We've got some cloves and then some bay leaves. Snip them into there to release their essential oils. Now, no salt, okay? If you add salt at this point, what you're going to do is you're going to toughen the meat really badly. So the salt gets added later on, not now, because this is to tenderize and flavor the meat, not cause it to tighten up. And now I'm just going to very simply cut away this part of the meat. I want to end up with about 800 grams. Now, when I pop this into the liquid to poach, the thing I don't want it to do is to lose all its shape. So we do need to tie it up together with some string. Nobody's ever going to see this, so you don't have to be, that forensic about it. Anyway, 2 fingers underneath like this. Bring it back underneath to here, bring it through, and you're basically your blanket stitching, yeah? So there you have it. You've got it nicely held together, and I now know that this is basically going to hold together nice and compact while it's poaching, and then afterwards I can snip this all off and slice it, okay? So final step, in it goes. Sure it's beautifully submerged, and then I'm going to just add a bit of pepper, and then it can be covered and it can go in the fridge. So now it's had a night in its bath, and now it's time to put it into the saucepan. So I'm just going to take the meat out and lay it in there, and then all of this with a few of the bits, not necessarily everything. Don't worry about straining it, just let whatever falls fall in there. Now, lid on. So we want this to just simmer gently so that it doesn't, boil fast. The faster it boils, whether you're making a casserole or a stew or braising, whatever, the faster it goes, the more steam it produces, the tougher the meat's going to be. So it really has to be long and slow with nothing really moving very much. Vitello tonnato, vitello being the veal, tonnato being the tuna. So I've got 2 150 gram cans of best quality tuna in here, of course in olive oil, and I'm going to combine them with some homemade mayonnaise. Now I made this very quickly, just in a food processor. 2 eggs, whole eggs, with the blade, maximum speed, drizzle in the olive oil and just wait for the magical emulsification to happen. It just keep going, just trust it. As long as you've got a nice potent food processor, you'll achieve perfect fresh mayonnaise. And tuna, and some of that reserved white wine, which was used for the marinade, some of that's going in here. Give this a stir. Now to that, I'm going to chop up some capers, a good note of sharpness. These again are some of the capers that I got in Sicily. They're from the island of Pantelleria, the island of the Four Winds, famous all over Italy for being the very best capers you can buy. So that's one thing to look out for next time you're in Sicily or anywhere in Italy. Gherkins going in next, little cetriolini. Now for some colour, I'm adding some freshly chopped parsley. I think we could do with a pinch of salt. So the sauce is now ready. I can refrigerate that. I can cover it and refrigerate it. So now all that needs to happen is I need to slice it really thinly to cover this plate, and then I'm going to finish off the sauce, smother it in the sauce, garnish the dish, and buon appetito. Oh, and also, yes, let's not forget the little fennel salad that goes on the top, alla Manfredi's. So nice, thin slices. You can see it's still slightly pink. It's beautifully moist. And if you don't like using veal, you can, of course, use turkey breast or a pork fillet as an alternative to using the veal. And I'm going to bring in my sauce ingredients. And now I'm going to use that to spoon on top of the vitello. And now I'm going to garnish it. I think I would like to put some sliced gherkins on there, some cetriolini, a few capers, and these gorgeous lemons. They really ought to play a part here. Olives. Can't have a vitello tonato without a few olives. So here is my olive with its stone in it, and I'm just going to show you the easiest way to remove the stone from the olive. So just put the flat of the knife on top of the olive and push down till you feel it sort of break, and then you can just pull the stone out quite neatly like that, and there you have it. Now I've got a little fennel flower which I'm going to add as a garnish, but first I need to shave my beautiful little fennel. I'm going to peel away a little bit of the base, and now I just need my mandolin, and I'm going to start just running this down, being very careful. So enough fennel now, beautiful fennel shavings. I'm going to put them into my bowl. Now I'm going to dress this with a tiny drizzle of really good balsamic and some of that amazing olive oil from Crotone, and just a little sprinkling of salt. Bring all that together, and that can now sit on top of my vitello. And now the final little touch is this beautiful wild fennel flower. And all that remains for me to say is that this is a vitello tonnato with a fennel salad and buon appetito!